Alright guys, let's see if we can do a YouTube video here. We're going to be talking about how to set up your plane. If you've built a scratch-built plane and you're wanting to set it up properly and you're not sure what to look for, let's see if I can help you out. And I've got my little notes here today, so if it looks like I'm reading something, I probably am. Okay, first thing, let's make sure your CG is correct. That's very important. If your CG is not correct, little nose heavy is okay. Little nose heavy. Little tail heavy is not. So either perfectly level or a hair nose heavy would be a good start. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to trim for straight and level flight at low to medium throttle setting, preferably low. Let's do the next thing. When you increase the throttle after you have it trimmed out, does it pull to one side or balloon up or pull to the ground? Those are things we're looking for. Pulling to one side under throttle, it'd be a thrust angle issue. Whichever side the plane pulls to under throttle, add shims to that side of the firewall under your motor mount to compensate and make the plane pull either the other direction or straight. You'll have to retrim your plane and retest, set up to fly straight and level flight at low speed, and retest it again. You'll have to do that until things are the way you want them. So if it's pulling to one side and you add shims to compensate under your motor mount against the firewall, when you adjust, you're going to have to get it back up in the air and retrim it, because now that your angle of your motor's changed, everything else changes too. So go ahead and retrim. The next thing we're looking for is ballooning or pulling down. So if when you give it throttle, it wants to puff up and climb really, really bad, or pull down, that could be another thrust angle issue of either up or down thrust. So if it's pulling up, you need some more down thrust. Let's see what we have here written down. Ballooning or pulling down, trim for straight and level flight at low speed, slam the throttle to full. What does it do? Does it pull up? Add down thrust to the motor. Retrim at low speed, retest. If you end up adding a lot of down thrust to the motor and it still pulls up, trim your plane to fly straight and level at a fast speed. Then let off the throttle and see if the nose of the plane pulls up, or does it balloon. If this is the case, your wing incidence is probably off, meaning that either your leading edge is too high, I mean the front of your plane, wing, it's either pointing like this a little bit that you probably can't see, or your trailing edge is too low, which would do the same thing. It would make it act like a kite. When it catches wind, it just pulls up. Okay, where are we at? Causing plane to lift, kite. Oh, ailerons can also do this. So if you have a wing that has ailerons, if your ailerons are drooping in the back, that could also cause your plane to lift in the front, kind of like flaps. So make sure your ailerons are set neutral to begin with. Does your plane pull down under throttle? Adjust some up thrust into the motor. I've had that on a few planes. Not very often, but it does happen. The last thing we're going to look for is, we're just talking electric planes on this one. Let's say you have regular rotation propellers and you break your last one and all you have left is reverse rotation propellers. What you'll want to do is remove the thrust shims from the right side and put them on the left side to cause left thrust on the motor. Then you'll reverse the motor rotation, install a reverse rotation propeller, and fly like you normally would. You'll need to retrim your plane through your controller for a straight and level flight again, though, because you've trimmed it for wanting to pull to a certain direction already. Lastly, does your wing have enough dihedral or polyhedral, depending on the style wing you have? Dihedral is, here's an example, that's dihedral, and polyhedral, you would have a straight wing, and on the wing tips you would have like this. Okay. Polydihedral would be a mixture of both, but we're not going to discuss that one because I haven't had to deal with that. Anyway, does your wing have enough dihedral or polyhedral? 3-channel planes. If you're scratch building and your plane won't turn, depending on the wing you have, you either don't have enough dihedral or polyhedral. I built a few scratch planes just off the top of my head, just threw some stuff together out of foam board, and I thought they looked pretty good, but when you got it in the air, there wasn't enough dihedral or polyhedral, depending on the wing, and it was extremely hard to turn. In fact, it had weird tendencies where it would just do what it wanted, like you would need ailerons to actually control it. So if you have enough dihedral or polyhedral, it's much easier to turn. In fact, it'll turn very easy. So that's something to look for if you build a plane and you're trying to figure out why it doesn't want to turn. You can trim it out, but it hardly turns, and you have to force it with a whole lot of throw in your rudder. You probably don't have enough dihedral or polyhedral. Let's continue on here. If you have a lot of throw in your rudder and it will hardly turn, you need more dihedral in the wing. And that's about all we have today, guys. Hopefully it's helped you. If there's anyone out there that has a special calculation for how many inches of dihedral off your building board versus the length of the wing, I'd appreciate that. That would sure be a help to a lot of us. Thank you very much.